Hey everyone, welcome to the Game Week 27 review video. It's been a while since the game week ended. We just went through international break. Just going to do a quick recap of what happened just before international break occurred, and then right after this, I'll be shooting the video for the team selection as the new game week starts tomorrow. Back in game week 27, it looks like we had a really good score of 68, but it was a very high scoring week across the league. And I actually did drop down the overall standings as well as our Fortune Fire League is concerned as well. Not a whole lot. I'd say maybe 68 probably was around an average score among those that are still kind of playing. It's kind of like it'll look like it's way above the average sometimes. But again, that's compared to people that maybe just stopped playing after week one. So that's something you got to keep in mind too. As far as active managers, I'd say 68 was not an impressive score, despite most time you'd be ecstatic about getting 16 points in a game week. Anyway, to start things off, Di Gregorio just got us 2 points. Falcone got three, so not too much of a difference there. The defense looked good as far as Kim and Danilo both scoring well. However, Ibanez got a red card in the game and hits a -1, which is really annoying to see. As per usual, the Napoli attackers did well. Both Osimhen and Kvaratskhelia got 15 points. Doesn't matter that I captained one over the other. If I captained Kvaratskhelia, Osimhen would have got 15 and Kvaratskhelia would have got 30. So it's not better one way or the other, and no one got more than 15 points without a captaincy. So it was a good decision at the end of the day. Felipe Anderson did well, got 7 fantasy points as well. Lookman and Dybala both were very disappointing. Then we have Lautaro Martinez and Anzola, who both did nothing. Inter got shut out by Juve, which, I mean, as a Juve fan, I'm pretty happy with. And as we can see, Spezia got shut out by Sassuolo, which is pretty disappointing there. Ever since I brought in Anzola, aside from when I benched him, he hasn't done very well. And another annoying benching is Zaccagni on the bench with 12 points. Would have been very nice to have him in rather than someone like Lookman, Dybala, Anzola, or Lautaro Martinez this week. That's a +11 or +10 that could have actually brought me up the standings rather than falling down them. So that is how my week looked. Obviously, despite how great the Napoli players did for me, these are the players that are doing well for everyone, and that is why most people have both or all three of these Napoli players, and probably most people are captaining either Kvaratskhelia or Osimhen as well. So it's not making a huge difference. Danilo is also heavily owned. I'd say if I'm making up points anywhere, it would have been through Felipe Anderson. And that's probably it. All my other players are very commonly owned players. Osimhen, Kvaratskhelia, Kim, and Danilo are all players that are regularly scoring points, which is why I have them, but it's also why majority of the people taking part in fantasy right now have them as well. So that's just something to be aware of. And that's a big reason why 68 points and I still fell down the standings this week. It really comes down to those players that not as many people have. That is going to make the difference as far as your ranking overall. So that's why it would have been, I think it would have been huge if I had Zaccagni in rather than sitting on the bench, because I think that would be a big differential pick that would have me moving up the rankings. Looking over to our league, we have Remo Kamer still up top. Mingus in Italy with about 13 points behind. FPL Kid then takes a kind of drop from there with 31 points behind our leader. So very close top two. Not that FPL Kid is far behind, but takes a bit of a drop there. And then we have some other close players not too far behind that. I dropped down to 19, which only 1 point behind 18 and 10 behind 17. So there's lots of time for me to try to get back onto that front page. We can see Team Napolitano, who's leading most of the season, is now almost out of the top 10. But we do see a lot of people that have been near the top for quite a bit. Just 13, Milan Wolves, 5 Valleys, teams that have all been near the top for the majority of the season. But even then, once we get past kind of just 13 stuff, we do see we're fifth place is over 60 points below our leader. So there is starting to be a bit of a front pack, but always in fantasy, 1 week can totally turn that around. Going to the highest game week score from last week, Alberto Spadetto had our best game week with Provedel in net, scoring very well as Lazio got a clean sheet against Roma. Danilo and Kim, like me, Kvaratskhelia with 15 points. Pereira with 10 in a captaincy of Berardi, who only got 12, so it still would have been better for him to captain one of his Napoli attackers. But he had both Napoli attackers as well as a captain Berardi, which really set himself aside there. I'm not even really sure who this Ferguson guy is, but had him on the bench would have been nice for him to be amongst the starters rather than someone like Dybala or Laurentino Martinez. But that's a great week there for Alberto. Well done. Let's take a look at one more. We will also look at Milan 19. Also with Provedel, Augusto, I've seen him in and out of teams a lot throughout the season. Does look like a good pickup though, especially at the price point. Rogerio scores well, Udoji as well. So decent defense. Smalling didn't really do much. Kostic and Kvaratskhelia in the middle with big points. And Dia and Osimhen well as well. Now, this is really unfortunate here, and maybe the sign of someone that isn't as active with their team, but still pulling out some big scores. Immobile, captained with Deulofeu, captained on the bench, has a lot of players that really shouldn't have. So this does seem like someone that is not as active right now or forgot to make some switches that they shouldn't have made. Like overall, the starting 11 is okay, but we should really be changing that vice captaincy. You never know when someone's going to be injured or not play. And is this due to not playing or is because the last game week would have been 27 and yeah, so he didn't see any time. So it probably should have been known that we should have been changing our captaincy there. But still a great score of 88 at the end of the day. On saying this could have been even better. But yeah, that's kind of how this game week is, or the game week looked. Looking forward to game week 28. I'll have a video up about that really early tomorrow, so hopefully there's some time to take a look before the game week starts. And I'll be making that video right now. So if you like this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again really soon. Take care.